game has no memory. The game doesn't know. The game of excellence, the game of life, doesn't know you were an All-American yesterday. It doesn't know that you had the #1 numbers last year. If you really become the one, what you really start to say in your language is, the game doesn't know I'm the one. The game doesn't know. The game doesn't know you're the top guy.
It's really strange how princes and kings and clowns that caper in sawdust rings and common folk like you and me are builders for eternity. Each of us is given a list of rules, a shapeless mass and a bag of tools, and each must fashion ere life is flown, stumbling block or stepping stone.
Think about a river in a flood for just a minute, okay? Floods are water going in every direction all at once. Floods are almost always damaging, aren't they? Rivers, on the other hand, are water flowing in one direction. Leaders, listen to me. Rivers and floods always reminds me of the power of focus and vision.
If you love your kids, if you love your organization, if you love your players, you're going to have energy and passion for it. If you don't, you won't. Very simple. Love is everything in this world. So I ask you, do you love what you do? Do you love the energy you provide for the people who work under you or for you or next to you?
If you're going to be a great leader, you better be perfectly self-aware. And if you're not self-aware, you're not any good. If you can't be honest with yourself and be transparent and be vulnerable with the people you're leading, zero. You have zero influence. They may act it, but they don't believe it. Their heart's not in it. Our job as leaders is to expand this. It's to expand your self-image.
Almost every one of these champions will have shared with me that they believe this, and I'm sure everyone in this room does too, that greatness is available to all of us.
See, we're the filter. If we're a leader, we're the filter for the organization. When the leader sneezes, the whole organization catches a cold one way or the other. It can be good or it can be bad. It's so funny. People talk about culture. It's not culture, it's a leader. People talk about this happens. You know what the problem is? The leader. People talk about relationships. You know what the problem is? The leader. Everything's the leader. Everything comes down to leadership. When things are going well, you know what the issue is? The leader. When things are going bad, you know what the issue is? The leader. And we have to understand that. We like to think it's something else, but it's the leader.
We have a line that says great players play great, but elite players make others play great.
The vision of a champion is someone who is bent over, drenched in sweat, at the point of exhaustion when no one else is watching.
I love speaking to leaders who are always looking to learn and grow.
I'm good at what I'm doing, but I'm also going to be fanatical about making other people better.
The difference between great doctors and good doctors is that at some point those people take responsibility for their own development.
As a leader, you can be a multiplier. And what that means is you use your intelligence to amplify the intelligence of others. People around you get smarter and more capable. Are you more of the genius, the leader who has the answer, who has the vision, or are you the genius maker?
Embrace talents possessed, talents required, and the really hard, meaningful, important work of coaching and leading so people grow in self, grow in role, great things happen.
How did you get where you are today? One thing I do know, in those building blocks, there's somebody else that made it happen.
The best coaches, the best CEOs surround themselves with complementary and sometimes adversarial talents. Mediocre CEOs, mediocre coaches surround themselves with clones.
One way the lower level leader loses his team is by not being demanding enough, not making the passionate, stressful investment, and that invites mediocrity.
I don't believe in followers. My organization, that's just what I don't teach them that. Followers is an easy excuse to say, I don't want to lead. He can do it, I just want to follow. Leadership breeds leadership. We lead. Everyone can lead. Maxwell's 360-degree leader, from the back, from the middle to the front. Everyone has a role. No role's bigger than the other. Everyone has a role. It's up to the leader, the ultimate leader, to make sure every role has demands, that they feel responsibility. When you feel responsibility, you become a leader.
So am I creating an environment where my people, my employees, my team say, oh, straight up, I'm gonna master every little piece of this position and I'm gonna be the best at it.
One thing you have to understand this is it is people, it's not programs. If you have a great organization, you have great people. If you don't have great people, you don't ever have a great organization. Everything else is a joke. People are the problem, people are the solution. People are always going to be the problem, people are always going to be the solution. Do you know why programs come and go so often? Because whatever the new program is, the crummy people can't do that one either. It's the truth. You got two ways to improve your organization. You know what they are? Hire better people and improve the ones you got, and that's it.
Communities that invest in education are communities that I think are getting it right.
Our definition of relevant teachers or relevant educators is this: they use what is cultural to say what is timeless. This is the counterintuitive notion that relevant leaders introduce both changes and timeless ideas that never change.
Getting a job is kind of okay, that's a basic thing. There's nothing wrong with a job. But that's kind of the 4-foot bar, isn't it? And that's not really the 7-foot bar. The 7-foot bar is, can you go somewhere where you can live your passion every day, where you can become?
As a school leader, I'm passionate about teaching and the opportunity to have a positive influence on young people. Developing purposeful and meaningful relationships with everyone I come in contact with professionally gives purpose to my work and meaning to my life.
Would you be that one-day mentor, that hallway conversation that changes the trajectory of their life? Would you do that? And maybe you think, I don't know if this is going to do any good. It may linger with them, and that's the very thing that gets them ready.
Mentoring and coaching is a moral obligation. I know for sure that it's no longer okay for us to think about mentoring and coaching in our organizations and with others as the next nice thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, because of the power we have as leaders, because of the extraordinary opportunity we have to impact and change lives, we have a moral obligation to bring other people with us.
Billy Graham said one coach will impact more people in a year than most people do in a lifetime. And I would say the same could be said for the leaders in this room and the impact that you have on others. For all the talk in education, right, about trying to enhance student performance by increasing pay of teachers based on their performance, here's what I know what will transform education. If we bring a great principal in every school in America, a great principal will transform that school.
It doesn't matter if you're white or you're black. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're born on this side of the tracks or raised on that one. Each of us have moments ahead that are going to change directions in our life. And in those moments, you will get two choices. You could be bitter or you could be better.
I think giving someone high expectations is a gift because they'll try to live up to it.
We create a portrait of ourselves, and that portrait guides us. And the portrait's based on value, it's based on principle, it's based on the actions we think we should exhibit with people that we want to influence. What is your portrait?
Why are we smart and capable, brilliant at our best around certain leaders, but around other leaders, we hold back?
Our psychological capital is who we are, and more importantly, who we can become. Who we are determines what our attitudes are, what our behaviors are, and importantly, how well we perform.
We eliminate all the negativity in our program in terms of you're not allowed to say you can't, you're not allowed to say you won't. I do believe there's a difference between failing and failures. I think one accepts it and one uses it to fuel them.
A loss is not a failure until you make an excuse.
Greatness was never a guarantee for me. Who you become as a person is defined by the obstacles that you overcome and how you deal with them.
The truly greatest are coachable and are always seeking great coaching. These winners want to be in the presence of people who will take them someplace special. You want to know what your capacity for greatness is? You know what your opportunity for success is? Look at the people you have around you, because you'll never outperform them. And if you want to achieve at a higher level, John Wooden said, always be in the improvement of your inner circle.
A great organization becomes an elite organization when the people in it take some ownership. They don't just work there, they don't just punch a card. They take ownership in what they're doing and what they believe in.
Where else are you going to go that you have the opportunity to do great? And how many of us in this world have permission to do great?
Positive leaders drive positive cultures. And I know you've been talking a lot about culture, but culture is everything. Culture drives expectations and beliefs. Expectations and beliefs drive behaviors. Behaviors drive habits, and habits ultimately create the future. And it's the most important thing that a leader could do is to focus on building a strong, great, and positive culture. Culture is not just one thing. Culture is everything.
Individual humans, just like the acorn seed is this big but can grow into something extraordinary, human beings have never been more powerful potentially. What's in them?
We are excited to have each and every one of you here to participate and engage in this journey of literacy, of talent, impact, and change.
The best organizations in the country are led by leaders who said, I no longer want to be good, I want to be great. I hope for you is today you leave this place on a mountaintop, on a journey towards greatness.